Okay, let's start again. So next question, hi, consolidation is vertical. Are you most excited about or think is most potential? Can you talk about how fast data set demand is growing? Thanks for taking my question. So I'm actually excited most for industrial automation, and this is mostly due to my personal preferences, but anywhere AI is needed, we can help in a major way. And to give you an example, in industrial automation, all the robots that are using computer vision, that are doing intelligent tasks, would do superbly well in synthetic data space, and that would benefit greatly from AI. And this is, basically pairing up any robot arm with a camera, and if you give it some scenarios in virtual world and simulate the control, suddenly it can do really well. From most mundane to most sophisticated tasks. Another very interesting example is in self-driving cars, for instance. You can actually teach the algorithm into human intentionality, right? So let's say you have a car, Tesla, driving in the residential neighborhood, and there is a child with a ball running around, right? Or there is, just some child's toys by the side of the road and a ball, or a ball is rolling toward the road and there are children, right? If your car has just driven around and never hit, as bad as it is, children who are running after the balls, it's not going to have enough examples of knowing what to do, and that children generally like to kick balls, and there's some probability that the ball is going to go on the road and all kinds of bad things will start. So we can simulate these god-awful scenarios in a virtual environment and produce millions of very sophisticated simulations for an algorithm to see. So suddenly it would know, just from statistics, that if little children in residential neighborhoods are around balls, there is some probability that the ball will go into the driving field, and then what to do next, right? But basically what we have done with that, in a virtual environment, we have taught a very expensive association, a very expensive versus real world, right? Something that you potentially cannot even teach in the real world because of all the implications. You can be hitting children. To have cars know that it's bad to hit children, and you have taught that piece of human knowledge and transferred the knowledge to the algorithm. And in the industrial automation, any kind of manual labor that is being done can similarly be substituted using virtual environment. And how fast data set demand is growing? Well, it's growing exponential. It's growing with the same with an appetite for AI applications, right? Any company that's trying to do AI right now would need a data set, and all of their future plans would need would need to include data sets. So as people are realizing that a lot of tasks are now possible with AI-assisted algorithms, they're going to go for that, for the data, and they're going to go for these efforts. So imagine any part of the economy where you see AI right now: manufacturing, data analysis, retail. There you need a data set, and that data set is evergreen, right? So for example, because circumstances change, and you always need to update the data set. Okay, why not proof of stake, more sustainable and eco-friendly? Can you give us some pros and cons? Well, we are not a blockchain in a classical sense, right? We're not a currency that is supposed to be mined by solving useless problem, by solving an algorithm, right? We're actually connected to a specific process. We are connected to useful work, so therefore proof of work is more natural to us, right? And it's not about being eco-friendly, because we're not just burning resources, let's say, like Bitcoin does. It's for them for them that eco footprint is important, because that just wastes heat that they're generating trying to compute the hash. In our case, it's an actual economic task, which is useful and necessary, and therefore, in this case, eco-friendliness is priced into the whole business process, right? It's not wasteful. Do we cooperate with some Chinese enterprises? Now I heard of Alibaba. We are not to date, but we plan to take Chinese directions very, very seriously. We have quite a lot of Chinese investors, contributors rather into the project, and our plan is to actively work in the Chinese market and pair up with companies that want to have AI capability. So we have a very robust set of plans to enter Chinese market, and currently looking for partners. So if you have people, please suggest. Yeah, so the miners are crucial. So the miners are the people who carry all the computations, right? So there are several types of computations. One computation is generating synthetic data, right? So from a data generator, as a miner, you would be able to grab the data generator as a task into your Docker container, run it on your machine, and generate the examples, right? And the examples of these data are the data pieces are either visual images, or let's say movie clips, or text-based data, or sound-based data, whatnot, right? So we just need capacity to generate it. And second is model training. So when this model, which is in essence is a huge matrix, is uploaded to your computer, it needs to readjust its weights. And this is done on the video cards. And so we'll use miners' video cards to train the model and arrive at the set of weights and neural networks that would solve the problem. And the third element is once the model is trained, to deploy the model and carry the computation for some useful tasks. So for instance, let's say that we have a client who has tons of video cameras, needs to install people counting models for his IP cameras. So that person will be able to go to Neuromation, and if there is a people counting model available from the market, that person would be able to select it, push a button, and deploy that system across the miners. So now whenever a person would cross the field of his camera, that picture would go to neural nets deployed on the miner machines, and this would give the people count. So this is called model tenancy. So again, miners are necessary for us for data generation, for model training, and for model tenancy, and this is crucial. Okay, so answered. What else? Let me actually take a break for 30 seconds. I need to plug in my laptop. 1 second. Back. So what's the next question? Yeah, is there specific hardware that Neuromation recommends for miners? Yeah, we have Dennis responding to this over the email. There is definite hardware set that if you write us to support, he'll be able to answer this. And he, I think, will be doing AMA soon, so you can exactly ask him specifically for the specific hardware set. Okay, any more? Okay. What are you currently working on? Uh-huh. Well, there are tons of stuff that I'm working on. I'm working with our CTO Fyodor to make sure that we deliver the platform, the first version of the platform that can deliver the business processes required. We are also working on opening up the development offices and staffing people in Eastern Europe for both development and our labs division. We plan to have a very strong dev core in Eastern Europe because of the cost considerations. We don't want to be careless with the funds that we have. We already have increased our headcount to about 50, and these are mostly programmers, and we would need to probably, roughly double it over the next 3 or 4 months to make sure that we meet our goals for 2018. We're also opening science labs, and this is where deep learning and computer learning specialists would be sitting. And one lab would be opened in St. Petersburg, and another one is in the process of being opened in Bay Area, California. So both of these are being done. We're also doing a lot of corporate stuff, and just helping Max operate the company now that that craziness connected with the token sale is starting to die down. We're also working on setting up the first reference clients and vendors into the platform and doing that first crucial business development step so that we have the ability to move forward and operate the business. We're also working on finalizing our sales teams, which are going to be working out of Tel Aviv. And Evan, I believe, is going to be on the AMA, so he can talk about sales and challenges that the sales team will have. And they already started, and already we see, tons of leads that they're generating. So very bullish on their activity. What are the main challenges? Well, it's a huge challenge. We're running a big distributed organization, which is going to grow really fast and get even bigger. And of course, there people's visions of the organization need to be synchronized, but also the product needs to be delivered, and the selling needs to happen. The proper biz dev and corporate partnerships should be established, and it's day-to-day struggle, like with any fast-growing startup. It's really hard to say what's our main challenge. Well, the main challenge is to keep the group cohesively and actively working together, so that we are striving toward common goal of making Neuromation as effective as possible. What is the process for registration of miners who wish to offer? So there's going to be forms available for people to register, and Dennis can speak to them. We're going to be providing URLs for the forms, where people would be able to come in and sign up as vendors for the platform, and that includes miners. What's my responsibility in the team? So my responsibility is to help Max run the company. Also, I have direct sales in the product under my kind of mandate as of now. So I'm working actively with Fyodor and Dennis to make sure that we are properly staffed and the product vision is there, and then we're delivering on the scope, but also with Evan to make sure that the Israeli office is staffed and the sales goals are set, and the sales process is set up. What am I most proud of, Gio? In case of Neuromation, I'm proud that with help of our contributors, we actually have built something that can, be something big, and make real difference in the world going forward. Because we truly, if we do everything right, can democratize AI and become one of those giant companies, not unlike Google and Alibaba, but hopefully with the software edge. What are the plans for expanding the team? So as I said, we roughly plan to double our headcount in the next 3 to 4 months, from about 40 people, from about 50 people to 80, 80 to 100. So even as I speak, these headcounts fluctuate because we are Dennis is hiring people, and that should be enough basically to, I think, complete our goals for 2018. And based on the feedback that the market will give us, we will probably think about the further plans for expansion. It's very easy to overexpand if you have resources, and it's very easy to overexpand beyond your ability to control the process and the direction of the company. So you want to avoid this mistake. And the company of 50 people is not the company of 10 people, and the company of 10 people is not a company of 100 people, right? There's scaling issues. So you're probably going to be under 100 for 2018, and then slowly see how we can expand from there, depending on what's going on in the market. How will Neuromation be supporting the applications being built under Neuromation Platform? So applications under Neuromation Platforms built in the labs would be available on the platform. So the labor of labs would be available on Neuromation Platform to purchase, whether it be models, data sets, or generators. And unless it's done for a custom client, where then Neuromation Lab would just function as a customer of Neuromation Platform. What makes Neuromation Platform unique would be easy for another project to copy it. I think I went about it at length already, attacking it from 3 different angles. And I'm just going to recap quickly, saying that Neuromation addresses 3 fundamental problems in AI right now. And these are data, computational capacity, and expertise. And none of the platforms that we see right now are addressing this triad, which actually, to be effective, has to be located under one. You can't just have a good model with lack of data, because your model is only as good as its data. Vice versa, if your model is not optimized, your result is going to be subpar. And this is also all a moot point if you don't have good people to produce either, or you don't have computational capacity to run effective experiment and move your stuff forward. So to truly democratize AI, you need all of those 3 under one roof, and currently only Neuromation has it as a vision. And competitors might be doing things, but in their ideation, they're some months behind. So I think we're going to do really well. What's the difference in versions, alpha, beta? Yeah, I already answered that question. I can go over it again. Let me just ask the moderator. Yes, I think I answered it. I can quickly recap what's the difference between alpha, beta, and production. So alpha release is, kind of alpha, beta release, what we're doing now. It would just give the basic feel for what functionality to expect is going to be centralized, and it will give ability to transact in TK and see what kind of business flows are available. So beta is going to be like alpha, beta, but fully automated, still centralized, and it's going to take it's going to use for computational capacity our friendly miner pools. Still, these friendly miner pools are in multiple thousands of CPUs. So GPUs will be supporting quite a bit of computational capacity, but it will be automated. And then the production version will be fully decentralized, and it will be on a blockchain auction, right? Where any node will not only be able to perform services, but also request services. So you won't have to go through Neuromation.io to address Neuromation blockchain and take advantage of the AI capability for NTK. Okay, so I think we got most of these out of the way. Yeah, so about myself, well, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've been doing technical projects for probably around 20 years already. Studied applied math in UC Berkeley. and went into business, built companies, sold a few, had a few good experiences, a few bad experiences, but generally my strong point was building product, focusing on the product, and what I'm helping Neuromation with. We're going to create a loan for application or do planning for a marketplace where, yeah, so very good question. So synthetic data is going to be generated via the generators, and actually people have to write generators, and these are software development teams. And yes, we're going to provide the marketplace where you would be able to go and hire a software development team for NTK that would write you a generator, and then the generator, if you feel generous and you want to make money with it, you can expose on the marketplace and people can generate data with it and you can earn NTK. Similarly, if you are a software development team which is capable of writing a generator and there's lots of requests for a specific generator, you can go create the generator and sell it in the marketplace and make NTK balance. And our plan is to aggressively recruit these teams and also create demand from the industry so that our generator library and data library grows very fast. So ideally, our vision is that in a year or two, you'd be able to go into Neuromation Platform and in the marketplace see tens of thousands of examples of generators and data sets just for every conceivable vertical. So yeah, we plan to provide an open marketplace where everybody can sell. And that goes not only toward data set, but obviously for the miners as well, right? So the miners will be able to sell their capacity, and people who are creating data sets are going to sell their data services. And what we will provide the expertise and the framework. It's done properly. So these data sets truly do perform when you use machine learning on them. Yeah, so Max and I were about Neuromation project working, trying to create a company that would unblock AI. And the idea was we're going to unblock it through synthetic data. And we actually started doing some experiments last spring. And the experiments went really well. We were able to train models on synthetic data. And then the models would perform really well in the real world use cases without ever seeing the real world. So that's how we tested out the first premise. And then some friends of ours who were doing mining at that time suggested that we use some of their capacity because we were overpaying for Amazon. And one thing led to another. We tried to run our experiments on their machines and it worked smoothly. So then they were also at the time told us about token sales and what it was, and about Ethereum and ICOs and all that jazz. And then we thought, well, if we combine that with global public markets of token sales and create a global transactable currency, maybe we can take this thing really big. And from that, the idea of Neuromation's token sale on the platform evolved gradually. And then we prepared for a few months, and then we started our token sale in September. And at that time, we also hired our first serious devs to start working on the platform, and we've been working on it ever since with various degrees of intensity. Obviously, as our token sale, more and more people liked our idea, the intensity increased. Okay. What current partnerships can you disclose? Yeah, we are going to actually, some of those are already public. And I don't think we have any secret partnerships that are happening, although there are a few that we can talk about, and we will manifest them shortly. But nothing that's hidden as far as you can see. The white paper. Yes, so Neuromation is providing the framework and the marketplace for vendors to come in and to create this data for various verticals, right? So some of these data sets we will create ourselves through the labs, but mostly it will be done with the help of our vendors. We're going to come into marketplace and do this data set creation, and then we're going to use miner's capacity to actually generate the data sets, to actually run the program that's going to generate all this multitude of examples. So in a nutshell, Neuromation is a provider of platform for this to be done correctly. It's an arbiter, and it's provider of computation capacity to create synthetic data at scale. Is this an endless amount of work? It is an endless amount of work, but if you go to Alibaba right now, you'll see endless amounts of real world goods being sold there. Go to supermarkets, you see an endless amounts of shelves, endless shelves with endless amounts of stuff on them. So that's what the platforms are for, to create the endless amounts of things for the real world, for the industry. Can it be created automatically? So it can be created based on the generator on the domain. So if you created a generator in a certain domain, for example, you created a city simulation for a self-driving car, right? You can set up the parameters and procedurally generate all kinds of scenarios there. So does it mean that you can use that particular generator for other tasks? No, you can. But within that domain, you can produce multiplicity of examples. Okay. Yeah, guys. So I see no more questions. Well, thank you, everybody. Then we'll take a short 10-minute break until our next next AMA session. So thank you all for attending and listening. And of course, if you have more questions, always send them to support. We'd be happy to answer them in the email form. And then that's about it for me. So in 10 minutes, we are going to have Dennis, who is going to do AMA, and he'll definitely be able to give you more in-depth technical talk about the supported CPUs, our containers, and some of our other technology plans, because he's way more technical than I am. Okay, thank you, guys.
At Neuromations. As Chief Operation Officer at Neuromations, I'm basically responsible for a number of things, and it's a very undefined yet role, as well as role in many organizations. Specifically, in my view, and how I take this role is, I am responsible for running smooth company. So it may define many involve things times not everyone is willing to take. Some of the things that necessary to visualize them, but basically I'm bringing all the domains of our company together and making sure that they are running smoothly. By background, I am I have spent many years over 15 years in working in various consulting houses. I was working in Deloitte Consulting in strategies and operations group, and then for about 3 years, and then I switched and I worked in KPMG in risk advisory group. And about a year ago, or less than a year ago, about half a year ago, uh, um, through a friend, I was introduced to the project Neuromation project, and I was asked to help advising on the compliance side and risk side of running an ICO project. So I started with the project as an advisor, and gradually got more and more involved, uh, took more and more responsibilities, and uh, by the end of December, it appeared that the company needed a position that's probably would be most fitted for the operations officer. And about in January, I switched from KPMG to work at Neuromation as Chief Operations Officer. And it's been quite a ride. I have a number of priorities that we need to tackle. There's a lot of things happening. And what I see on the market, and what I see the people understand a little less than just to run a successful ICO is just the beginning. It's just the tip of an iceberg. Once the ICO is run, we have to deal with the building the actual company, how you allocate the funds, how you put the strategy that you design in place. Obviously, the strategy that we had for at the beginning of ICO, we didn't know how much funds we're going to raise, and this consequently switched from our target for specific fundraising of a soft cap through the hard cap, and then with the appreciation of Ether, we now in a very different position with a very different strategy. So we can talk about this, and I'll cover that because I've seen some questions coming through. What's our roadmap and how it changed because of the changes in our fundraising. So we'll definitely have changes attributed to that, and I'll talk about them a little bit more in details later on. As of right now, I want to talk about my specific, more strategic goals, what I'm responsible for in terms of the building company and my responsibility. It may address some of the questions that have been listed by our community. So my top priority right now, and one of the top priorities, transparency to our organization. And basically it's a community. My primary care right now is a community building. What I mean by that is what you in a fiat world you would consider investor relations building, and that includes communication with the community, building a transparent organization with policies and procedures that are absolutely clear, that we can communicate on back to the community about our progress as a company, as Neuromation. We can build an infrastructure so that community contributes to our project. Will be able to monitor on a regular basis our progress and have full set of information and validate it back to the community on our progress. We will list all our successes We will want to inform you of all of our new partnerships. We will keep you informed of all uh, of our new developments, and we'll make sure that this is not just we're not just communicating this, but our communication is validated by a third party who can come in and validate. Yep, and Neuromation is doing what they said they want to do. Ultimately, we want to, because this is a bit of a disorganized field, and we don't have the enough regulatory environment around us. What my goal is to build this organization as a self-regulatory organization. We want to bring the from the fiat world, from a classic world of running a company, the best practices and principles, and build them in a crypto world. That requires reporting, that requires audit, that requires building proper due diligence of the company operations, and that's requires communications back to the community. So that's in a nutshell where my primary focus is. And of course, I will not bore you with the rest of the uh, internal stuff, as we have a lot of things that we have to build that will require just building the processes. Just that's something that's not sexy, not to bring to the attention of the larger community. Just a lot of building brick by brick the company. So with that, I want to go through a couple of questions, and I will maybe will have additional questions coming through the chat. So, so I will have answered the question about the ETH Ether raise due to fluctuations price. The question is, I hope some major portions are already locked in fiat. If so, based on target of original raised versus what is raised, when it's locked into fiat, what additional add-on in the roadmap to justify the usage of additional funds raised? This will help show the transparent nature and usage, thereby increasing credibility and utilization of funds. About the second point, when hard cap was reached, ETH was 1,000. When you locked in fiat, it might be 1,300. So do you additional liquidity to smart conversion into fiat to get better benefits? This is also means funds available, which you should be shown as usage for additional things to increase transparency and showcase smart. Yeah, this is great question, and obviously this is obviously not the first time we've been asked this question. There is a buzz in the community where strategy when the hard cap is more than originally expected due to fluctuation fluctuation in ether. We obviously when we planned our token offering, we had the ether price was very different, and our hard cap wasn't ether. So what it does, however, it gives you the raising the amount of hard cap completely changes the strategy of how we approach things, right? So now we can afford to have a massive impact on the AI industry. we can we can get more specialized talent, and we can deploy them not consequently while raising some sort of revenue on the platform, but we can deploy this talent simultaneously and start developing in a different directions. So what we're doing, in addition to, because we have additional funds, we are building. So there is a Neuromation platform, as it's described in our white paper, and we also have Neuromation labs that are also the vendors on the platform. So now we're able to have a research and development into more than one industry of the Neuromation labs. We will acquire talent. We're in the process of negotiating and acquiring talent in Silicon Valley and organizing development of specific domains in specific industries. So that naturally, this will generate significantly sooner higher return on investment, and it will be a larger revenue turnover, because we will have a product ready to go to the market a lot sooner than we originally anticipated. Because there is still a limitation to how much of the money we can deploy into development of the company, and being responsible stewards of the company, we also in the process of converting the money from Ether to fiat. We have a strategy. We recently hired a couple of investment bankers that will help us that modeling the conversion strategies for us. We have two different conversion strategies. We have two different strategies. So one is for to managing fiat. We'll have conversion ratio that will be approved into the fiat. We'll have a small amount of Ether locked into Ether, so we can maintain our liquidity and maintain our token economics. This will require the larger funds, the fiat funds, will be transferred into their asset management something like an EFT, and it will be the returns on the EFTs will be targeted more to support our daily liquidity, and we will need to use these EFT funds to support some of our yearly costs. This will be a low risk EFTs. We don't anticipate to model to get a higher rate of returns with the risky funds. And there is no for us, it's not a strategy, because we simply don't need urgently funds, and putting the contributors' money at risk is not the responsible stewardship of the company. So I think I answered this question in terms of the fluctuations and whether we sold Ether at when it was 13 or 1400. We did not, because we did not touch the funds until the official public sale is over, which is today. So whatever the price is today, this is where we start to do the conversion for Ether. We'll have a certain number of funds at a strike price, at the market price, and we'll have a certain number converted, and we'll set certain corridors of on walls, achieve our short-term liquidity, mid-GDT, long-term liquidity. So this is I have that as this one. I want to talk a little bit more about the changes in a roadmap. What is the future roadmap after 2018? Not much details in the white paper. Okay, so we met with the board. The board met. The board of Neuromation met with the last week, and we had discussions about short-term and long-term plans and what is our blue sky vision. So I can talk about probably not in terms of the Neuromation as a platform, but more in terms of the overall company development and the blue sky vision of what Neuromation will mean in the industry. A lot of it will depend on the next half a year, and we'll see what kind of sales we'll bring in on the first and second iteration of the platform, and of course this will adjust our blue sky vision. I can't say for sure that so far what we've seen already is very promising. We have a number of really interesting leads into the from our sales team, which is amazing. And I hope you guys will get a chance to talk. And even Evan, who is our sales head of sales, he will be presenting on this on AMA. Yeah, I mean, if things are as we plan them to be in 2019, 2020. We will have an adjusted business model to sustain a significant market share of anything to do with visual recognition in AI space, and we'll be able to develop some breakthrough technologies using our talent that we acquiring right now to have in the domains of biomedicine and genomics, and so like I would say these are our more promising fields where we put a lot of effort and a lot of talent and a lot of funds. And I believe we're in a well position to have a dominant presence on the market past 2018 with high caliber talent. We also forming a number of partnerships that will help us achieve this position on the market. And in terms of the platform will continue to the development and bringing in and building a larger community past 2018. End of 2018, we plan to have a fully distributed computing power on the platform, fully built functionality with automated switch for the mining rigs, and that will help us to enhance our platform and technically bring a large community of users. So I hope that explains where we are past 2018. I will continue with the questions, and just check if I have any new questions in our. No, nothing yet. All right. So I have a question. Which industry vertical are you most excited about? Can you talk about how fast data is have fast data set demand is growing? Thanks for taking my question, Duncan. All right, Duncan. So I think I was referring to this a little bit in my previous response. I think anything to do with biomedical research, uh, DNA research. This is so far at least where we have found best strategical partners. Where we are able to focus on the adding talent in terms of the research and research of the scientists, the academics. So I think this would be one of the key development of the within the industry. But there is one thing that kind of excites even more than specific domain. Is will probably be some kind of a interdomain categories. Let's say a cross between uh, let's say medical development and medical labs and these domains, the development and retail. So if we're gonna be able to build a large community of users, we should be able to have should be able to have built a number of cross bridges, if what you'd say, and by that I mean the cross bridges between the data that's received from your daily life, some sort of IoT, and how it's fed into your medical records, or vice versa, how your medical records are fed into to the IoT devices in the future. And feeding of that information in between will build your kind of your lifestyle, will be built around your lifestyle. So let's say if your DNA, based on your DNA and DNA samples, may drive your daily routines, your shopping, your exercises, um, your eating patterns, uh, your work. So if we build two domains, one would be, so let's say, dedicated to health, and one dedicated to DNA research. That cross bridge between, given that cross bridge between for the user community, that's something that's probably most exciting to me. And I'm sure like everyone who you'd ask in our organizations for sure will have a different view on this. So these are things that I'd like that I'm most excited about. All right, here's an interesting question. So okay, so I'm very interested in this project. Do you cooperate with some Chinese enterprises? And just now I heard Alibaba. Yeah, I think everyone who has set foot in China to develop a company will have some sort of interactions with Alibaba. Uh, okay, so our a substantial number of our contributors have come from China, and by substantial I mean it's more than I think if I remember correctly 30-40%. And the way we work with contributors contributors on this on this with these contributors is we're not looking for participation just for the sake of it. Right? If a contributor wants to take part in our project, we want a long-term relationships. So when we're in Asia, we have found a number of long-term relationships, which we continue to develop still with a number of larger size contributors, representative of the private investors or private funds or just private enterprises. And we are continuing on our journey, on our relationship with them. We have built a good rapport in Asia. We're very present. We're going to be opening offices in China and in Singapore, and hopefully down the road in Japan. And we are working on and looking for any connections with the Korean market that has not been so far. We haven't entered the market in the right direction. So we do have a number of leads with a number of Chinese companies, and will have our presence. Not only leads, but we also start to develop certain products based on their requests. Obviously, I'm not at liberty to discuss right now specific leads. As soon as we sign either contract or letter of intent, we'll be able to have to discuss in more details what are the companies and what specifically we're building on them. But yeah, but we're definitely present. We're definitely in China. We're definitely in Hong Kong. We are working on Singapore. So that's that's our direction in the East. Right. What? That's a tricky question. So the question next is, what are your main challenges? So I'd say for me specifically, as Chief Operations Officer, my main challenge is to build transparency into our organization. So the questions like, what is my main challenge, is answered based on a data that's available in reference to the community. That's my main challenge. If I have to report back, if my community wants to support me, if they don't know what's happening within my company, then it's a challenge. And it's not challenge so much for me, but it's a challenge for ultimately for the contributors and ultimately for all of the stakeholders. And there's a lot of steps that are built into this challenge to build the transparency. There's a lot of steps. There's a lot of infrastructure and operations that need to be built that have to deal with these operations. I mean, it's a new field, not just because it's a AI new field. It's a new field because it's cryptocurrency new field. So even simple things like financial statements or financial reporting or management reporting or treasury functions or liquidity management, none of the things have been properly done before. At least we don't have visibility on a good practices right now because there are no good practices. So you're building something based on your best guess scenario. Like that's all right. Well, I think I think I understand how it's supposed to be, how it's supposed to be done. There's no guidance. I have to figure out everything by myself. I will do the best of my abilities to figure it out. But at the end of the day, it's still a guess. And coming from environment where I am, or at least given my past, a guess is not a very good position to be. A guess is not something that's guess guess is not something that you can be. Okay. Next question is, what am I most proud of? I think the most proudest moment of the campaign was when we, at the end of the day, at the end of the ICO, we were able to close ICO at within 8 hours. It showed that we don't just have a hunch, but we have a support of the community. It's not just about one transaction. It's not about two transactions. It's about the belief of a large group of people that this is something, we onto something here, and we onto something good, and we onto something that we have a belief of a large group of people. This will work. We have more than we don't have we never had any contributions from any of the funds, like a lot of ICOs with large raised. Our proudest moment is that we can close ICO and we say we didn't speculate, we didn't bring any institutional investors. We have what we have behind us is a belief of a community, a belief of a large community. And it's not just in United States, or it's not mostly from Eastern Europe or anything. It's truly global. So when we have this kind of support behind us, it makes us very proud. It makes the community, it makes us believe that we will have developed something that we cannot stop, and we will take on all the challenges as we face them. So that's I guess this would be my most proudest moment to answer. Okay, so let's see what other questions we can answer today. What are the plans for expanding the team? Oh, plans are grand. So we started with the 2 offices. We had a rep office in Silicon Valley. We had a office and we had an office in Ukraine, and now only a short period of time we are opening offices in Israel. We're opening offices in St. Petersburg, and we are opening offices in Singapore, and we will open office in. We will also open office in a couple of more countries. We expect to be present in China and possibly in Japan, or at least we will cooperate with our partners. And our team will probably grow from so right now our team is about 50 people altogether, and I think I wouldn't be surprised by the end of the year we will have close to 200-300 people working for us. That's just within 1 year, and we'll definitely be present on at least United States, Eastern Europe, and all of Asia, including Asia proper, China, and the Southeast Asia. We will try to target emerging markets as well, and put in offices somewhere in countries like Malaysia and Thailand. So that's definitely on our to-do list. Okay. And the next question. So, what are the current partnerships can you disclose? Questions from Montana. Right. Okay. So we have a number of partnerships. A couple of them are actually published on our website. So then we have a partnership with OSA HP, is a data analytics AI company out of Russia. We have with whom we're building retail labs, Neuromation Retail Lab. Now we also have partnership. We also have partnership with Gigawatt, which is one of the biggest mining rigs in United States. We are planning to open a partnership with a new entrant to the market, which is AI health provider, which builds a personalized robot in your based on your personalized data. We unfortunately, I can't disclose the name as of right now, so I apologize for that. And I think in terms of the concrete plans, we have a number of developments that we cannot disclose, unfortunately. So I will not be able to discuss them with you right now, but yeah, we're working on. But it's coming, so I will definitely have more information for you on our next call. Okay, I think I'm at the end of. Oh yeah, a couple of questions were designed for me. Okay, so do you think the government can benefit the Neuromation platform? Yeah, the mission of the company is to provide cost-effective method for development of AI solutions. So that's definitely something that any government can benefit from, right? Not only that, and we also have complete transparency on how the contracts are built. So that's anyone who dealt with the government knows that procurement process is a nightmare just because it's so non-transparent and so bureaucratic. And then bureaucracy is because it's not non-transparent. So if we can build the procurement platform for submitting AI contracts on AI, which is absolutely transparent because and immutable with immutable records, that's definitely adding a lot of value to the government, and will leave the bidding process completely transparent, not only to the government employees and workers, but to the entire community. Anyone will be able to see how the government is making decisions based on what are the parameters that they have discussed, and how they want to introduce the bidding for AI solutions. So yeah, definitely the governments will benefit. The previous question was about what partnerships are you forming. One of the partnership leads that we're working on is a large government entity. Unfortunately, I'm unable to disclose it at this moment, but it's definitely something that we have a target on. We have a couple of other ideas approaching specific governmental agencies. It's not our prime target, but if we have successfully announced something like over a large government entity signing up with Neuromation, we'd definitely be announcing this. Um, in which country you're going to set up your first working platform? Our platform is distributed. We're not setting up in any country, or we in every country. If you have access to internet, you have access to our platform. If that's your question, I guess I'm guessing I answered this. You talked about best practice. Best practice are used to maintain quality as an alternative legislated standards and can based on self-assessment or benchmarking. How is Neuromation going to benchmark, because there are not a lot of competitors? Well, that's not true. Every industry has a competitor. Depends on how you look at it. Like even email servers have competitors. They called mailmen, right? So yeah, they're a little bit outdated, but they're definitely part of the benchmark. So it's not necessarily fair to say that there's not a lot of competitors. There are competitors. We just on a different level, and then we can demonstrate the benchmarks that how much we're moving forward based on our benchmark, how much we're pushing the needle or going forward. That's definitely will be good demonstration of a benchmark. Okay. And that's definitely would be part of the building the best practices. So I think I answered all the questions, and I don't see anything added to the chat for me. So I think that's I would like to. With that, I would like to finish my session. My session with the my open session. If there are no more questions added, I would like to thank everyone who is listening in to this. And I really thank everyone for participation and for believing in us and believing in the platform. Please believe us that we're doing everything we can to get this thing off the ground and operational. We're in a good track, and we will make sure that you're happy with our performance. Well, thank you very much. And with that, I'm finishing the call.
Yeah, hi guys. My name is Dennis, and I'm Chief Information Officer in Neuromation. I have maybe 15 or 16 years of experience. I participate in a lot of the startups. In 2005, it was a very good startup. It called Sinope. We tried to create something called private operator for the big cell phone operator in the US. We have a very good team. We're trying to create the best product, but iPhone came up, and the company was the group, and right now is it called the Cognizant, in the top 10 outsourced company in Ukraine. I participate in the Vidal company. This is the Kyiv-based startup which has developed a video recognition platform which is sold to Google in 2012. And it was only one company from Ukraine which is sold to Google. I participate in genomic startup. We're trying to create very cool software for fast human genomic annotation and fast disease finding. I create for the company called the TNS that I created software which is handle and gathering all information from the all sites in Ukraine. It's about 100 sites, and we have very big data on it, about 1 million requests per second. It was 5 years ago. Yeah, and for the last 5 years, I created a company into tech company. From the scratch, and responsible for tech activities. Yeah, this is something about myself and my experience. I have a lot of questions. Let me see. Maybe it would be better to answer from something that Konstantin referenced to me. Is there a specific hardware that Neuromation recommends for the miner? Yeah, we have a recommendation for the miner. It would be like minimal requirements and the optimal requirements. That we right now we are working in suggesting to working with the NVIDIA GPUs. For example, GTX 1080 or 1080 Ti, GTX 1070, GTX 1060. We're trying to. We also know about the 1050, 50 Ti especially, and the minimum requirements will be that we have the miner should have the internet about 10 megabits per second, the local storage about 1 gigabits, CPU about GPU. It's starting from the 1050 Ti or the 1060 it would be creative if it has the GPS on board. Maybe this better. Yeah, RAM starting from the 8 gigabytes, the SSD starting from the 64 gigabytes, and the CPU starting from the 2 or 4 core. Let me just a second. Yeah. The optimal will be internet more than 1 gigabits per second, local storage, local network about the 10 gigabits, but a lot of the miner will consider about the cost, and we will try to define or what would be the optimal. That the GPU we recommend using the GTX, the 1080 Ti. It may be the 4 or 6 GPU on board. The optimal recommendation for the RAM would be 64 gig of RAM or more. SSD starting from the 500 gigabytes, and the CPU about 12 core. Yeah, this is the. Also, we also recommend use the operation system as a Ubuntu 60.04 LTS. We try to. We have a plan for the using the different operation system, but maybe in the nearly 3 or 6 months. We will see. But right now, the primary operation system is Linux. Okay, next question. Is there a timeline for the when you will be support AMD GPUs? The main question is, it will be does AMD GPU support the main frameworks in data science? I just checked the TensorFlow, and they didn't support it for now, but they promise it in the nearly future. So we will rely on that. When the TensorFlow will be support AMD GPUs, I think we will. What are responsibilities in the team? As a chief information officer, I'm responsible for the. Right now, we have the platform and the platform core. I'm responsible for the platform core. It means that all infrastructure, the details, and the hidden layers, or many things related to the security, the availability, the all kind of the hardware specific, I'm responsible for. And also, I'm responsible for the hiring the best talent in the right now in Ukraine, and we have a very good team, and we're trying to get everything on place. We're trying to get very good culture in the team and in the whole company, and probably that's it. What are you most proud of? I'm really proud of that. I have an opportunity to join that company. It was pretty amazing that the Constantine just placed the Skype and told me, "Hey Dennis, where is my files?" And I told her, "Hey, I didn't know what is the file is." And after the 6 months, I joined the company. But I'm proud of that we're trying to build a marketplace which is connected to the guys who has the GPUs and data scientists who haven't cheapest GPUs, and we're trying to create very cool infrastructure that, and I'm really proud of that. I'm working with that kind of people right now in the company. What is the plan of the expanding the team? But the question was answered by Constantine. Right now we're about 52 member. Maybe we will double as a user in the next 6 months. This is the kind of plan. We will have maybe 20 people in the Kiev, because it would be infrastructure engineer and data scientists, machine learning engineers. Yeah. What is the process of the registration for the miner who wish to offer the computer power to the platform? We will have a live platform in the literally 8 hours, and we have dedication of the specific IO customers, IO miner, IO AI developer, IO dataset labeling, or the synthetic data provider. So that if you're a miner, you just register that your first name, last name, email, phone number, location, and how many hour do you have the processor, GPU, HDD, RAM, model, operation system, and which type of the internet connection you have. This is the minimum requirements, that information you need for the register to our platform. Next question. Just a second. It was from the Max session. Is it my understanding that this platform is going to use the computing power from the crypto miners? Is that correct? Yes, it is. Yes, it's correct. We're creating that rig. We rent rig from the miners, and we're trying to create a win-win situation for the miner and the data scientist, or the whatever we need the GPUs. And yeah, we use it, and we try to utilize it on the 100% as much as getting the increase the revenue for the miners, and decrease the spending for the end users. We also that Yuri mentioned that we will have the smart switch. It means that we give our access to your machine or rig or whatever hardware that you have, and we will create a smart switch from the, we analyze your machine, and we have a lot of the we will have the system which will be provide to you that if we have AI task, it, it find on your machine. If there is no AI task, we will have the smart switch, for the money that best cryptocurrency that to maximize the profit uh, for right now. And yeah, this is something that we try to build in maybe 3 or 4 months. Okay, please talk a little close to the microphone. Yeah, no problem. Sorry, guys. Um, the next question is in Neuromation, maybe is Neuromation going to decrypt all synthetic data themselves? And do you plan to provide marketplace where the other can also sell? Yes, this is the main our platform that we will create the marketplace when you um, order synthetic data generator and uh, let me just a second. I will adjust my microphone and maybe it would be much more better. Just a second. It should be increased. Yeah, we have the marketplace, and you can order the synthetic data generator. You can sell uh, your data. You can buy data from another provider. The next question is it worth to consider buying special AI card for mining? We do not recommend to buy something that, but we consider that it would be nice to have something that NVIDIA GTX 1080 Ti for the AI specific tasks. It would be great if you have the modern one card, but but yeah, it depends. It really depends. What are you currently working on? Yeah, I'm working on the platform core, as I mentioned before. That we're trying to connect all the data. We're trying to connect our infrastructure to our backends, and that everything will be run smoothly and safe. Also, we spend a lot of time for the making everything secure because a lot of the trouble with the security, especially that you when you run something on the external machine, and it would be network security. It would be the maybe SSD security or something like that. Mm, yeah, this is good that we are working on the platform. We are working on the platform core. We're trying to treat everything that. Okay. Do we have any other questions? Mhm. Okay. We also did trying to build a platform for ourselves because we will be the first client of the platform. We have a client which is required with a lot of synthetic data generated. So will be used our platform for distribute synthetic data generation. And also we will have that after the generation will be finished, we will need to train neural network model. And after it be done and complete, we will have to create some kind of recognition, something like classification, whatever. And our pipeline should be very straightforward and easy. That will give us that some kind of Docker container, and we will expose that API for HTTP SSL to the world, and it should be pretty simple. That this is not a question, but this is some insight that came up into my mind. Don't have another question here. Yeah, I have a very good question, but I'm not sure that I give the right answer. The question: how long do you expect think it will be before the machine self-learning allows them to start identify the unknowns in the human knowledge base, and therefore for the questions need to be asked to fill in a gap in the knowledge pool. This is rhetorical question, but maybe that it was the something that Max or the Constantine would like to answer. But in my perspective, it would be like maybe in a decade, but maybe something to change because a lot of the technology that just happened, and this is the another step to the revolution for something. But nobody can believe that or 10 years or the 15 years ago that everything will be run on the smartphone. You will have the something in a supercomputer in your pocket that no one will believe, and it will be connected through the internet. A lot of things that changed in the decade. I will check that maybe another. Waiting for your questions. Okay, guys. Thank you, everyone. Please no questions that we will have the Evan, which is the Chief Revenue Officer, will be coming in the 30 minutes. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hello, good evening, everyone, or good morning, depending on where you are around the world. Welcome to the Neuromation Ask Me Anything. To all our Chinese friends out there, Happy New Year. It's going to be a great dog year, and good luck to us all for the launch of our platform today. My name is Evan Katz, and I'm the Chief Revenue Officer here at Neuromation. I've been in the sales, marketing, and business development world for more than 8 to 9 years now. And the last project I did was actually also involved in the AI industry, and that's where my knowledge comes from within this world. And I'm responsible basically for all the sales and business development here in Neuromation. So let me move on to our first question. We got here from Aish. Please provide some details about partnerships already and new being explored without names, but hints about sector scope, size, and possibility, time frame for conversation, and basic pipelines. So thank you very much for the question, Ashish, and basically, we've got a few things in the pipeline at the moment. We're working on a number of different sectors. The main sector where we are putting most of our focus is in the retail sector, where we are developing a number of products for retailers, big supermarkets, brands, pharmacies, and basically different wholesale outlets and retail outlets. We have a system where we have created synthetic data for labeling different products on the shelves, helping increase the data flow and the efficiency of the data sets without having to take each item and analyze it and scan it and use that. So we've created that product where we're using in different supermarkets to help them manage the shelf life of different products and understand which products are selling better on what part of the shelf and organization. We also have a really cool product for different retail outlets, which does demographic analysis, where it is basically like facial recognition, where it will analyze the different people coming in and out of the stores, woman, man or female, and the different age groups. So that can help companies also manage the demographics in terms of marketing, know when different types of groups of people are moving through their store and when they're not. So that's some of the projects which we're doing in the retail world. We already have a few very big clients from Europe and are in talks with a number of clients around the world, very big retailers and supermarkets and brands and factories and manufacturers in that space. So that's going to be very exciting for us in terms of the partnership and sales roadmap. Apart from that, we're also moving into different sectors, such as agriculture, where we are developing a number of solutions for livestock farmers, where they can analyze all of their different livestock from even a remote location, to understand exactly what's happening on the farm with each animal, and storing that data and enabling them to analyze it and better the performance of their livestock growing. So that's also one of the sectors where we've put our focus into, the agriculture side of things. And that was one of the products which we are developing. Currently, we're working with a number of pig farmers to release this product on their farms. So that's also a very exciting sector for us at this time. And slowly but surely, we're also moving into the medical and healthcare, where we can help different smart cameras and smart apps which are using deep learning and machine learning to understand different medical research situations, which is pretty amazing. And we've got a pretty hefty amount of partners in the pipeline for all of those sectors. And apart from that, we're also experimenting in other sectors in terms of autonomous robotics, drones and cars and flying vehicles and so forth, and a lot of other sectors where we are going to put our foot in and have a very exciting year. So that's on the basically on the sales side in terms of our partnerships, but we also have a number of cooperations with very big mining farms and mining companies, which we will announce very soon, to help us grow and increase our network and the platform, which is going to be pretty amazing, and I look forward to telling you guys more about that. On the platform side, basically we are putting a lot of effort into marketing and direct sales, and bringing in some very big names to work with us, from government projects to enterprise projects to a lot of small and medium different businesses. But yes, we've got a lot of different products and partnerships in the pipeline, and ready to go ahead on that. Thank you very much for the question, Ashish. And let's go on here to the next question from Borja. Since this is a very specific product, how do you pretend to get partners and new clients at the beginning? I mean, this is there kind of incentive for the first clients to use the platform. Does your project fit in this category, artificial intelligence as a service? So thank you very much for the question, Borja. So basically, what we are doing in terms of our sales and direct way of bringing clients into the platform is, first of all, we don't have to give up a lot. We have a very disruptive product and a really, really good selling point to lots of companies. We solve very big issues in terms of the bottleneck within AI, and apart from that, there is a very big need for our solution. So how we are getting these clients is, that's what I'm in charge of. We have our team out here in Tel Aviv, where we have a team of salespersons who are reaching out directly to these clients and explaining them about the product, explaining to them about the benefits of what Neuromation can provide and what we can do for them. And we've got a lot of very good positive feedback, and like I said, it's a really disruptive product, and It's gone a long way in solving a lot of very big problems in this industry, and the name is the idea and what we provide is actually helping push the sales force forward, because it really is something with a unique and added value, which a lot of companies see as very valuable, and we can actually help them in a way. I mean, to a lot of our clients, it's not really an expense. It's more of an added value to them, because we can provide them with services which are a lot cheaper than what they're paying for now. We can help them reach their goals and deadlines a lot quicker with added workforce, of course at a substantially less price than having it done in-house. And apart from that, we have the benefit of the platform, which is an open marketplace, and different companies and clients can come in and choose off-the-shelf services in order to create their artificial intelligence applications, which today there isn't a lot of options, and it's something that's needed. So in terms of classifying ourselves as artificial intelligence as a service, yes and no. I mean, yes, we do provide artificial intelligence as a service, but we do a lot more than that. We provide the different tools and infrastructure needed in order for people to create proper, useful, and efficient artificial intelligence. So we're providing a full package here. It's more of a neural network as a service. And really getting AI democratized and out there to everybody and every company as easy and simple as possible. So yeah, we have another question here from our Twitter feed. Could you talk about what you're currently working on and how you see the future of Neuromation? This is a really interesting question, because the future of Neuromation to me is endless. But I'll go on more about that later on within this question. So in terms of the different projects which we are working in, and the roadmap and the direction that we're going, I think I touched a little bit about that within the first question that was asked by Ashish. Like I said, we're working on a number of retail clients and agriculture, medical, and so forth, and building on that way. And we've also got a number of government contracts, which could be really great and really amazing, which we'll speak about hopefully very soon. And currently, I mean, in terms of partnerships, like I said, we've got a clear direction in what type of customers we need to bring onto the platform, and what we need to do. We've also in talk with a number of very interesting institutions and educational institutions to provide a lot of research and innovative projects coming in the future, which is could be really cool and really amazing. I mean, essentially, also like I mentioned before, we've got that the agriculture project for the pig farms, which to me is really amazing. I mean, for these types of farmers who see the need to use artificial intelligence and allow us to create a project for them and a service for them in order to take farming to the future, I think is really innovative and futuristic thinking. And that brings me back to how I see Neuromation in the future. And I think it's, like I said, it's endless, because we set out to democratize and spread the word about AI. And artificial intelligence is the next wave and the next step for humankind to take technology to the next level. because essentially we know how to create working systems which we manage and which we control and which we with our sweat and blood and hands actually work and create and make work. And with the added value of artificial intelligence, that we can create essentially a digital being or machine that can do these tasks for us and allow us to increase and do what we are best at doing, and that's innovating and growing and creating more. And not letting ourselves stay in the past and stay in and do the things that we used to do and have to do because that's the only way we know how to do it, but to allow us to embrace this technology and use it for as many different things as possible. So the future is so bright to me because every day I get to work, I open my computer, and the options are endless. I can go and I can find a solution for many different clients in many different sectors, and I talk to a lot of people and helped a lot of people understand how far they can push their company and push their product with the use of artificial intelligence and with the use of what Neuromation can provide. I mean, we've met with a number of clients who have been trying for a long time to create their own deep learning application or their own neural network, but they are lacking the efficient data and data sets needed in order to train the models to get to the efficiency needed. And explaining to them about how synthetic data can help them is it's really a good feeling that we can do so much with what we have created and help so many different startups and projects with us, and every project that we get into and every phone call that we have and do, it's just bringing us to the next step and opening the future more and understanding that we are getting to a stage where things will finally start to look like the future depicted in movies and from Hollywood and so forth, which to me is really amazing. So let's go on to the next question here from Alexis. And what are your main challenges? So I think in terms of challenges, like every company and every startup and every new industry, we have got a few, and we're not scared to embrace them. We are there to look at them and understand them and analyze them and open it up as much as possible so that we know where we need to strengthen ourselves and where we need to push forward on. So I think one of the main challenges is what I face, with my daily task in Neuromation will be the way we have to change the way that people think about artificial intelligence, because until recently, artificial intelligence was only for the enterprises, for big companies, for really good scientists who could do these things by themselves. And you used to need to have a lot of money and a lot of resources and a lot of manpower in order to create a working and efficient product. So the main challenge today is that a lot of these companies and a lot of people don't know that artificial intelligence is in reach. It's right there under your nose, and you can actually go pick it up and use it. So that is one of the main challenges which I think we are facing today, is changing the mindset of people in terms of the whole industry. That it's not as hard as it used to be. I mean, it is very hard, but I think that we have a solid way of controlling it, understanding it, and pushing an idea, from just an idea to a working product, which is pretty impressive. I think the next challenge would be also on the same line of you know, the mindset and conception would be the adaptation. To allow, you know, not companies who haven't got AI, but companies who already have AI that, you know, are used to doing all in-house and doing all by themselves and so forth. And now we're giving them the opportunity of off-the-shelf services. So it will be helping these clients adapt to knowing that they have this open marketplace and this place where they can go and pick the products that they need for the price that suits them and the timing that's good for them and so forth. So adapting, helping them adapt to this new world of decentralized information, basically. And also, I mean, it will be a big challenge. Will also be, you know, competitors. We are in there with the big guys. You know, we can basically classify ourselves as a competitor of Amazon or of Google or of Nvidia or one of the big cloud computing companies. But that isn't the only product that we provide. That is one of the services that does come along with the innovativeness of Neuromation. So that is the one side of the challenges which will be hard, and you know, dealing with these big guys. And I think you know, the main challenge here is like I said, is adaptation and allowing people to understand what we have done and what we've achieved here, and how they can use it to their benefits. So yes, moving on to the next question, Jeffrey. And what are your responsibilities in the team? Thank you very much, Jeffrey. So my responsibilities in the team are sales and business development and marketing. Basically, what my main goal in the company is to take the information that I get from our scientists and development team and try and simplify it and make it, make sense of what they've created and how to present it to somebody in words that everybody can understand. So you know, I'm basically the front guy all day, going out and going to each company and making sure that we are bringing in revenue into the company. So it will be different strategic partnerships that will help facilitate and close in terms of you know, creating a stronger and better platform and company. It can be the day-to-day sales. As I mentioned, which we're running here out of Tel Aviv. Also, in terms of understanding the marketing and which different sectors we need to penetrate and how we're going to go, you know, from the retail to the medical to the agriculture and synchronize the marketing and so forth. Yeah, so basically, my main job is bringing the money in. I'm responsible for making this company grow and seeing the dollars come in and hopefully making all of our investors very, very happy. And Jeffrey, next question. What am I most proud of? Whew, I mean, I don't really know what I'm most proud of, but I do know that I am proud to be part of this project and part of you know, the industry that we are in now. I feel I'm so proud about knowing that we are the pioneers of artificial intelligence, or the new wave of artificial intelligence and blockchain as well. I mean, you know, it has been going on now for quite a while, but I do feel that we are still in the beginning stages and still starting to understand what blockchain is and how to use it, and the same with artificial intelligence. And you know, I'm really proud to be one of the people that you know, has dedicated my life to these things, and pushing them as much as possible, and making sure that I do my job right, so that the goals that we as a company and as a team have set out to do are achieved. And we essentially, the main goal is to democratize AI and bring these technologies further, and help as many companies as possible. And on the blockchain side, it's such a new and exciting era and industry that I can just go on for hours about how I think it can change the world, and how I think it can be beneficial to many different things in our lives. It's a really good feeling knowing that at least we're trying to push technology in that direction, and becoming one of those pioneers. So thank you very much for the question, Jeffrey. So next question we've got here from our Twitter feed is, what makes Neuromation's platform unique? Would it be easy for another project to copy it? So I think the first thing which makes Neuromation unique is our ability to create synthetic data at scale. So basically, that is a very innovative product and service that we have created, where we can create synthetic data sets for different AI applications. And as I mentioned before, this is a big part of the bottleneck in the AI industry. The bottleneck of data can be so vast that it's hard to understand the concept of it. I mean, in terms of data is such a vast word and thing. It's hard to understand how there is a lack of it. But data, even if there isn't a lack of data in any given sector that you need, you still have to go and you have to collect that data, and you have to sort it and label it, and make sure that when the model is training on it, it understands what that data is you are feeding it. So there is a lot that goes on in terms of creating a working data set, or a final data set. But we've created this product which basically is a printing machine for data sets, and that is something which is very unique for what we are providing. And in terms of, would it be easy for another project to copy it? I mean, today, I don't think that it's hard to copy anything. You just need resources. If you have enough resources, you can copy and duplicate and create anything, basically. But I mean, even if somebody did try and copy our product, they won't be able to do it as good as us, because we already have the experience, and we've already been doing this for a while, and we're already inside. So for another project to come and copy it and create it, yeah, it could be possible, of course, like anything else, but I don't know how beneficial it will be. And also, I mean, in terms of what we have done, it's not very easy to create the generator that we have done. That took a lot of work, and we've got a great team, and we're putting in a lot of hours of sweat into this, and working very hard at it, and we all very dedicated and ambitious people, and I think it would take a lot to create what we have created here. So that's what I have to say in terms of that. So yeah, we have another question here from our Twitter feed. Can you tell us something about your background? So I'm originally from South Africa. I was born and raised there, and when I was 15, I decided to move to Israel by myself, and I moved to Israel and started my life here, because my dream was to go and get recruited into the army, into special forces. And that's what I did. I went to the army, I got into special forces. Unfortunately, I was injured during combat and was released after that. And straight after that, I decided that I was going to go and take over the world and learn and experience as much as possible. And that has been my main goal since, to go and push and take over the world and do everything that I do as good and as best as possible. I've been involved in a number of entrepreneurial projects from different sectors, different things, and everything that I've done, I've put my heart and soul into, and made the best out of it. My last project was an online media company where we did the buying and selling and optimization of online ad spaces, and we actually created an AI product which was able to do it automatically. And that's how I, got into the AI and artificial intelligence world. Okay, next question, also from our Twitter feed. Can you tell us about your revenue model? Very interesting. So our revenue model is basically made up of two main strategies. So we've got our Neuromation Lab, which is one of the services that we provide, which is basically a one-stop shop for AI services. A client, a customer can come to us with an idea, and we will let them leave with a finished product. And this can also be a number of things. It can also be a client with a ready-made product and a ready working artificial intelligence model, and we can just help them with a certain project within their company and help them build that as well. So that is basically what we have there, and there we will be charging clients based on the different needs and wants of the project. So if it is a project from an idea to a finished product, we will do a number of things. So the main model there will be to understand if they're going to use synthetic data or not, and if yes, we'll have to build a generator for them, and the generator will have a certain price for creating and so forth. And if needed, we will then go to our platform and see if there are any services of different vendors which could be useful to us, and and try and negotiate a deal that way in order to help and speed up the process. So that's the one revenue model in terms of that is direct sales and building a proposal for each person in terms of the wants and needs of their product. The next revenue model is on the platform. So as all open marketplaces work, you've got the buyers on the one side and the sellers on the other side, and the buyers will then come in and provide their services on the platform, and the sellers will sell them, and Neuromation will take a commission fee from the middle of the transaction from the sellers seller's side. So that is the other revenue model which we have here at Neuromation, which is basically a commission or fee that we take for usage of the platform. And apart from that, we also have a number of strategic partnerships which we can put into play in terms of generating revenue. If it's for research or different case studies in different sectors as well, we can also go down that direction in terms of revenue as well. Okay, so let's see here. Then we got another question from our Twitter feed. Do you see Google as a direct competitor in this field? So I think Google can actually be a direct competitor to anyone. they're such a big company, and you know, they have got their hands in reach in lots of different tech around the world. So yes, they can be a direct competitor. But I mean, in terms of what we're doing, I mean, Google can also be a partner of ours, and you know, Google can also is can also be a means of you know, they take up a certain amount of market share, and whatever's left, I mean, there's still a lot there which can be you know, monetized, which I think that we actually put ourselves out to, which will be the small and medium businesses and companies. Where I think Google, in terms of that direction, they you know, more on the enterprise side, and that's where a lot of their revenue comes in from. So I don't really see them at this stage as a direct competitor to us. I mean, I've never even you know, I know that our products are better and you know, much more better in terms of pricing. So also, a lot of the people that I speak to aren't really utilizing Google as a service. So it's not even like me taking customers from them. So I don't really see them at this stage as a direct competitor at the moment. Okay, next question, also from our Twitter feed. Do you expect connecting mining rigs to NTK system will initially be at least twice as profitable as ETH mining to incentivize miners to switch? So, no, I mean, we can't expect anything. I mean, we do know that we can provide at least 20 to 30% more revenue than what miners are doing at the moment. So it really depends on how they've got their mining rig or mining business set up, and how they're doing it and how they're operating it. So the way that the NTK mining works is basically that we will send a task to the miner, and with all of the information in terms of timing and pricing and what is needed from those mining rigs, the amount of GPUs, the amount of you know, power that will be needed, and he can then choose if he wants to accept that task or not. So if he receives a task which said we're going to need to use your 3 of your mining rigs for 2 days, and we're willing to pay X amount, you know, that amount could add up to, you know, 100% more than what he's earning. It could add up to you know, 10% more. It really depends on you know, how big his operation is and how they manage it, and so forth. So it really is up to them to decide how much more they want to make and how they want to manage it. But of course, they will make a lot more. And in terms of you know, incentivizing them, it's dedicated pay, because once they accept the task for that certain amount of time, then they know, okay, well, I know that if I leave it running for this amount, at the end I will get X. And now, you know, in terms of the growth of you know, different mining operations, in terms of acquiring you know, efficient hash to understand exactly how much you're going to make, and in terms of the you know, the cryptocurrency markets going up and down, it's you know, it's a touch and go subject. But I do know that we have a really good incentive for them. Miners, you know, this will be very beneficial to them. It will be easier for them to manage, to understand, and in general to optimize the performance. It's a really great solution. Okay, let's go to our next question. Also from our Twitter feed. Can clients only purchase Neuro tokens from the market in order to access the services? So this is a yes and no question. Basically, the clients, you know, will have to buy tokens from the market, but they won't have to buy them from directly from the exchanges that we are listed on. Clients can come to to us, Neuromation, as a platform, and we will then, facilitate the buy for them and make sure that they don't have to deal with something that they don't understand or something that they don't, really have experience with. So we know that they coming to use the platform and to use us as a service, and we've set out and created a structure in order to help them. So a lot of our clients see us only as a service, and they don't see them as buying tokens and using them. That's all done by us on the back end. So it benefits the clients because they don't need to start changing currencies and so forth, and it benefits the ecosystem because the ecosystem sees it as profit, as income, as revenue flowing through the economy and through the system. So it's beneficial to both sides, and the more we do that, the happier all of our investors will be, and everybody else. And I think it's a really cool way of running it, because it's like I said, it's beneficial on both sides, and our investors and our economy will benefit from that, and our customers won't have to deal with two different worlds at once. Yes. Let's see. Okay, thank you very much, Twitter. And to our next question here. How are you marketing NTK and raising general awareness of your offerings? And this was also from our Twitter feed. So basically, we're doing a number of things which I mentioned throughout the chat. So one of the big directions and the main focus for us is our direct sales team. We are actually going out and approaching different high-level and decision-making people within the companies that we feel that we can be beneficial to, and they can be a client of ours, and reaching out to them, explaining to them the product, giving them demos, and getting our name out there that way. We also have our dedicated PR and communications team and marketing team, where we have set out to spread out our marketing within Neuromation. So we have got like this AMA session that we're doing now. There's a number of projects which we are pushing forward in terms of reaching out to our community and helping raise more awareness and bring more people into our community. We are sponsoring and going to a number of different conferences around the world within the topics that are relevant to our operations, which is also a great way of spreading out the word about Neuromation and what we do and how we're doing it, and so forth. And apart from that, we also have our digital team, where we have different online campaigns running throughout the web, through advertisements and articles. We've had a number of news outlets reach out to us, and some that we have reached out to as well. There's going to be a number of articles that should be coming out, and interviews and videos, and very, very interesting, stuff coming in the future in terms of the marketing. Apart from that, I mean, a lot of our marketing also comes from the how innovative it is. I mean, we speak to one client within one sector, and when he starts using our service, or one of his competitors hears about it, they immediately get in touch with us, and the word spreads, because if we provide one person within an industry an added edge with technology, their competitors come to life and want to understand what's going on and what they're doing and how they're doing it and why they're doing it. And a lot of the time, Neuromation is brought up in that conversation. So that's also another way of how we're doing our marketing and pushing the word out there about what we're doing. Hopefully, we will also be doing a number of scientific articles. Sergey, who is our chief scientist, has been writing a number of papers about what we are doing and how we're doing it, so we can put ourselves out there to the scientific community as well, which really helps with marketing on that side as well. And I think that's about it in terms of what we, providing on the marketing side and what we're doing for that. I mean, Neuromation we've done, quite a bit in terms of creating a really unique and problem-solving product. So the word spreads really fast to who needs to know it, and they know what they need to know, and that's what's good for us, because in terms it is a very niche market. It's not like you can go to everybody and sell to them artificial intelligence or the services that we provide. So in terms of that, it's a really dedicated marketing, and the way that we focus our efforts is very dedicated and pushed towards bringing performance and what we need. So it might seem like we're not doing marketing, but that just means that you're not within our target market, because it is a very niche type thing, and we want to get to who we need to get to. And that goes back to also one of the other questions: what my responsibilities is managing that we get to the people we need to get to, and we are in front of the decision makers and the people who need our product and need to understand our product. So that's that in terms of the marketing point of view. The conferences is also a really big factor for us, because there you meet all of the industry professionals and the people who you need to talk to are there, and it really works for us. We're very outgoing people and like to talk and like to meet new people, so it's always a good factor in terms of spreading the word and marketing and getting things out there to the people that you need to get it out to. Just a little bit off topic. I mean, the things that we're dealing with here, and the problems that I've come to understand that we can solve is, it's a really amazing thing, and a lot of what we're doing and the work that we put into this is backed up by the actual product and what we can build and what we can do. So it's not like we have a product where we have to have strong marketing in order for it to work. We have a strong product, full stop, and we know who needs it and who we need to sell it to, and it's working, and it's great, because we know that we have a good offering, and we're providing a service which is beneficial, and a lot of the time when I'm talking to customers, I don't feel like I'm selling them something. I feel like I'm providing them an added service, something which is to them, they're not really paying for something, they're paying for achievements and pushing their companies forward. So it's a really great feeling, and it's a good conversation to have with these clients and with the people that we talk to on a daily basis, and how we're spreading the word, and how the word is getting out as well. It's really exciting times, as I mentioned before. really innovative. New times, we in such a exciting era now that things are changing and moving forward and going on to levels which I don't even think we knew where we were going and how we were going to get there. And I'm excited that we're all here together and doing this, and it's really exciting, and we've got a good couple of years ahead of us of exciting stuff and new things that we're going to do. And let's all be happy that we part of this year, and what we have achieved and what we're doing, and that we're all here to do this. Yeah, so thank you very much, everyone. I had a great evening talking to you, and hopefully we can do this more often. Hopefully I answered all your questions and got the word out there. This isn't, we're not going away. If you have any other further questions, you can always reach out through our email or on our Telegram chat, and we'll be happy to help you and answer your questions and let you know as much as possible. Thank you very much, and have a good time.